Yo guys, what's going on? My name is Borough Vlogger and today we are back with another video. Today we are bringing something new to the channel. I'll be doing a prediction where I predict all the games in the FA Cup and the Championship on this week. So the first game in the FA Cup is Sheffield Wednesday versus Swansea. I think that'll be a draw. This is the early kick-off, it'll be a draw. I think both teams are kind of starting to pick up form, but I think it'll be a tight game, but it will be probably a 0-0 or a 1-1. The next game is Brighton versus Coventry. I think Brighton will win this, even though Coventry have had the thrill of knocking out Stoke in the third round and they beat MK Dons in the fourth round to beat us. Brighton, who knocked us out in the fourth round, will probably see them through. They'll probably play a very strong team, and Coventry just probably won't have enough. They've lost a couple of good young talents in the January transfer window, losing Ben Stevenson to Wolves in deadline day, so I think Coventry might not have that firepower anymore. Next game, West Brom versus Southampton. I think that'll be a draw. Two struggling Premier League teams battling it out. Not really for anything, just a quarter-final place, but I think it'll be a draw and both teams will probably play very poor and it'll probably be a 0-0. Next game, the last game of the Saturday fixtures in the FA Cup is the late kick-off, Huddersfield versus Manchester United, and it's at the John Smith Stadium where Huddersfield beat Manchester United 2-1 in the Premier League, and then in the reverse fixture, Man United won 2-0, I think. So I've went for Man United because I think they'll just have enough quality to see out Huddersfield and go to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Then on the Sunday, the last game of the FA Cup, well, I think it is, probably won't be, Rochdale versus Tottenham. I think Tottenham will see it through. They probably won't play a much experienced side, but they'll have enough quality to see past Rochdale and go into the quarterfinals. So in the Championship, our first game is Birmingham versus Millwall. I think that'll be a draw. Two low mid-table teams, Birmingham fighting for relegation, so Millwall, I think that'll be a draw. Probably like a 1-1. Probably Tim Cahill, he might play and probably get his first goal for Millwall because he is experienced, he knows what to do. But is he too old? Is he too old now to play and get his scoring touch back in the English divisions? Our next game is Burton versus Forest. I went for Forest, but even though Burton is starting to get their star striker Liam Boyce back to fitness, I think he played the last game against Ipswich. Forest, who managed under our former boss Karanka, will probably have enough to see it through with the likes of Lee Tomlin, who was a former Borough player, Guardiola, former Borough player. So Crank is bringing in that ex-Borough personnel that he knew and knew familiar in his Borough reign. Next, speaking of Borough, Cardiff versus Borough, and I know you're probably thinking I've said Borough, and I have. It's just the fact that we are playing quite good away, even though our last away game we got beat 1-0 in a very appalling performance. As you've seen in our vlog, most of the clips were from Norwich. So yeah, I think we'll win. It'll probably be a 2-1 or a 1-0. It'll be a very scrappy game, and two teams battling for promotion. Obviously Cardiff in the playoffs and we are just outside. So next we have Fulham versus Villa. Another very tight game. I think Villa will come out on this because they won 7 in a row. Probably make it 8 today, even though Fulham have the player of the month, Ryan Sessegnon. I think Villa just have the quality that Fulham kind of lack to see the game through. So next, Preston versus the league leaders Wolves. Obviously Wolves are on fire at the moment, so I've gone with them, and no surprise, the fire they've got Diego Jota, Ruben Neves, Roman Saiz, Willy Bolly, and a lot of good Portuguese players. So I've went with them, and they'll probably win the league in the next couple of games, I think. So next we've got QPR versus Bolton. I went for a draw with this one, just that two teams that aren't shining out in the Championship. Obviously Bolton had Gary Medine, who was firing goals for them, who left to join Cardiff. So Bolton have had that firepower taken out of them, and maybe lack the goals, so I'm going to say 0-0. I probably shouldn't be doing score predictions, I'm absolutely terrible at score predictions, but I'm going to say 0-0. And yeah, moving on to the final game of the Championship, we have Sunderland versus Brentford. I've gone for Brentford. I think Sunderland have been very lacklustre this season and mainly down to financial problems. And most Sunderland fans would agree they got very lucky last week, being 3-0 down, 2 own goals, and a goal from Aidan McGeady brought it back to 3-3. So that's the end of the games for the Saturday in the Championship. We have 2 on the Sunday. We have the East Anglian derby between Norwich and Ipswich. I'm going to say Norwich because they always manage to win that derby, and they are actually playing quite well lately. Obviously against us, they absolutely battered us, and I don't know how they got on last week, but I'm assuming they probably won. And then we have Bristol City versus Leeds. I'm going to say draw because both teams are playing okay lately. Obviously Paul Heckingbottom, the new Leeds manager after Thomas Christian was sacked after they lost 4-1 against Cardiff at home. So I'm going to say draw because both teams are playing quite well lately. Bristol City falling down the pecking order a little bit because they've hit a bad run of form after the defeat in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. So yeah, hopefully we can win and close the gap on the playoffs. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I've been the Borough Vlogger. See ya.